Hey, what is up, guys? It's Brendan here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Monarch Money, doing a Monarch Money app review, taking a look at the pros, cons, pricing, features, and really everything you need to know when you're considering getting started with Monarch Money for your budgeting, net worth tracking, and really everything when it comes to managing your personal finances in a tool. So that's what we're going to be diving into here in today's video, and I have been personally using Monarch Money since the very beginning of this year, so going on about 9 months now. I'm going to be sharing all of my insights and my personal experiences in this Monarch Money review, what I do like, what I don't like, and really everything that might be important to you when you're considering getting started with this app. Now, if you do want to sign up, I will be leaving a referral link down below in the video description. It is again a affiliate link. It can be a great way to help out and support the channel, so if you want to use that link, cool. If not, that's up to you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into things. Now, Monarch Money has been a very popular mint alternative. I've covered them in prior videos talking about how they can be a great migration because the Mint app earlier this year, as many of you know, or if you're not familiar with it, was an app, buy into it, that was able to track your finances for free, actually, although they did use ads. It's like an ad supported, which is a bit different from Monarch, and Monarch really promoted themselves as a great transition tool for using budgeting, net worth tracking, and really everything that you may be used to get from that old tool. So it did force a lot of people to be like, hey, what kind of tool am I going to use? So that's why I signed up. They had a good migration system, and really that was the key to getting started for a lot of people with Monarch. Now, how has my experience been with them? I would say overall, Monarch has been a pretty solid experience. In terms of the overall features, we're going to be getting into that, breaking down in just a moment as well. Now, right off the bat, just as a quick disclaimer, in terms of the way that the pricing does work, it is a paid tool, so do keep that in mind. They do have a monthly subscription as well as an annual plan that you can choose from depending on what makes more sense for you, and that is a bit different, but there are no ads inside Monarch Money, so that is nice that there are no ads, but it is a paid tool, so do just keep that in mind, but you aren't getting any advertising, which can be nice. Now, in terms of the core features within Monarch, taking a look here at their homepage and personally what I've experienced, one of the best features within Monarch Money, in my opinion, is their overall account tracker. This is an automated account tracking service that they have. Now, you can select between multiple different services to connect your accounts, and I've found that most of them do work pretty well in terms of linking with your bank accounts, whether it be, if you're checking, savings, investment accounts, tracking your home values, car values, really, and you can even enter in your own custom assets, such as maybe a watch or something that you own, and you just have that value that you know yourself. It's like, oh, this is a $1,000 watch or something like that, right? So you can also add those things in there as well. Now, from my experience, I've only ever had 1 or 2 accounts from a single company constantly have connectivity issues. It's a much smaller, it's typically, smaller banks or businesses that you're using for your accounts might have issues. I've only had one, and I have many different accounts linked. So in terms of the connectivity, I really haven't had any issues there except for just that one account. And it does tend to stay linked for at least about a month before it has an issue again. But that, that's something that you might run into, honestly, with any of the different budgeting apps, depending on, what accounts you have connected. The nice thing about Monarch is they do have multiple different account connectivity services. So if one doesn't work, you might be able to try another. It does depend on the bank that you're using, because some are only available to link through one account type. So do keep that in mind. And that just is something that you might have to face on a variety of different types of accounts that you have linked to your Monarch. Now, the overall account tracking system and net worth tracking system, in my opinion, is one of the best. They have the net worth breakdown. They also have net worth over time, so you can track things monthly, quarterly, annually, and really see that breakdown over time, and something that, is a massive headache to do manually, especially when it comes to the whole net worth tracking side of things. We'll be getting into the cash flow, budgeting, and reports and sections in just a moment, and how I feel about those as well. So moving along with Monarch Money, as you can see here, you can link everything. Now, in terms of where it's available, they do have it so you can do the web version on their website. That's typically what I use and what I found to be the most effective. Now, I do also have the iPhone app that I do use, and that is, decently effective if you want to check things on the go, but I would probably recommend most people just to get comfortable with the website version, just because there's a lot more features on there, and it's a bit easier to roll through everything, connect things, and just to check on things as well. They did recently add the ability to track your Apple Card as well. If you have the iPhone app, you can import things that way, which is nice if you do have an Apple Card or something linked through that. They do also have an Android and iPad version for the app. Now, I have not personally used the Android or iPad app, so I can't really speak on those, but the iPhone app is decent on the go. The website version is still far superior in my opinion. It's probably the better platform for most people to use. Now, this is available in the US and Canada, of course, just in terms of the countries where that's available, in terms of where you can actually use the app. Now, again, going back to the connectivity side of things, as you can see here, they do use multiple different data aggregators. Like I said, I only have had one that was kind of having connectivity issues over time, and that's just something you're probably gonna have to face with any type of budgeting app connector. Other than that, only had that one account, and so besides that, no problems there. In terms of the actual transaction rules and logging transactions, now this is something that I have had some issues with on Monarch and for its automated transactions. Now, most things do get categorized automatically correctly. However, I found that transfers, or especially with like Zells, any type of money transfer between accounts, whether it be from a checkings to a savings, a Venmo transaction, all those kind of things, you're going to tend to have to clean up manually. However, one of the nice things about Monarch is you can actually set specified rules for certain dollar amounts. So if you know that a certain bill that comes in every month, or maybe it's just under a certain dollar amount or at a specific dollar amount, you know that this money transfer is not going to be a certain type of expense, or it's not even a transfer, you need to recategorize it or log it differently. You can set up an automation for that, and then you don't have to keep recategorizing that every single time. It's sort of like a set and forget, and you can fix it once, and then it will stay fixed in the future if you set the parameters correctly. So that can be a nice benefit for fixing that. However, I would say that that's definitely sort of a con with it, is that, and this is, again, something that you might just face with every type of budgeting app where things are automated, is that it might, miscategorize certain transactions. So I would recommend probably going through your transactions every month and doing it manually, just to make sure that everything is categorized correctly, so that your budget and your cash flow reports and your report section do show up accurately, which is what we're about to get into as well in terms of my opinions there. Now, the overall flexible budgeting tools within Monarch, you can set your planned and your actual expenses. Now, personally, I don't use this feature a whole lot. I have found it to be useful for setting an initial budgeted plan. So you can see, okay, how much am I spending on rent or mortgage or utilities, or how much you plan to spend on restaurants, shopping. The thing with this is that some of that money that gets rolled over it doesn't really at all connect to your actual checking account in any way, shape, or form. This is just to sort of plan things, and it can help you with notifications. So it will send you an email or an app notification saying, hey, you spent over your planned dollar amount for gas, for example. If you set it to only $100, you spent $150, you'll get a notification. This can be really nice if you do go through and set everything up correctly. I have found, though, that some categories, like if you're not spending in a certain category every month, and then it kind of just goes into the remaining section, you sort of lose touch with where things are at exactly in this. So it's sort of like a nice system to use if you're going to use it, every single month, I would recommend going through and kind of going in and actually managing your budget every month. If you don't stay on top of things within this, it can very quickly sort of roll away from you. And that's kind of my experience with it, is that if you're not doing it every month, it just becomes sort of something that's kind of there in the background in this app, and it's not really all that useful if you don't go through and set the plan amounts each month and actually look at what your actual amounts have been spent within that. For me personally, the cash flow based budgeting that is available within Monarch, which is what we're getting into here, and the diagrams and charts, is actually the most useful feature for me. And this is so that I can see, you know, how much as a percentage or even per month you're spending. And this has a very nice sand key diagram. This sand key diagram alone may be worth just using the app purely for this feature, to be able to see your overall income, your savings, and where your money is actually going. You can split this out on a quarterly basis, annual basis, monthly basis, or however the dates are that you want to split it. You can go in and see where you've actually spent your money on. Now, of course, your transactions do need to be accurate for this report to be accurate. So again, I recommend everybody using this app to go in to your transactions and really monitor them and make sure that it's categorizing everything correctly, because you will have a few that will slide through. And if you don't check it, you might have something miscategorized that you're not aware of. So make sure you're going through and doing that. And then you can see your reports, like how much you actually spent on groceries, how much you actually spent on eating out in restaurants or garbage or your phone bill. And you can see that over the month to month or the annual basis, and see where all of your money is actually going on a basis within this sand key diagram. You can also split things out in bar charts and things like that too. I do just mention the sand key diagram because it is featured here as a nice chart to make it very easy to see where your cash flow is going. So that can be a really nice way to keep track of your overall income and expenses, and seeing like how much money you actually have left over in terms of what you're saving and what you're spending, and seeing where that spending is actually going. And a lot of that is automated through the categorizations that you've set, or the categorizations that Monarch just automatically sets based on your accounts being linked to the app. Moving along in terms of connectivity, you can also collaborate with people as well. That's no extra cost. So you can create a shared view. This can be really nice for people who are maybe couples, married, or maybe you have sort of like a partnership situation, or whatever your situation may be in terms of managing things. This could also be for a financial advisor or somebody else to kind of step in and take a look at things. And you can collaborate with people and add people to your household. This is a really nice feature. It's no extra cost. And you get, as you can see here, you get your own login, and you can have a shared view to see where the money is going. This can be a really nice feature for people, again, if you have a partner or someone sort of in an advisory type role, to take a look at your finances. Now, the investment tracking tool, this specific feature within seeing like all the different investing holdings, this isn't something that I actually really use all that much. I more so just use the actual investment holdings trackers within the investment accounts. I get that Monarch does have this, so you can see like all your overall holdings across multiple different brokerages, which could be nice. You know, for some people, if you have multiple different brokerages, you can see where things are moving. This isn't a super important feature to me, but you can also map your portfolio versus the S&P 500 in here, which can be cool if you're into that for investment holdings. I personally just keep track of things just here inside the regular net worth investments section, just to see overall account values. And it does break it down as well by an IRA account or a 401k account, so you can split things out based on the accounts. But if you do want to see things based on the specific investments within those accounts, they do have that feature here. Again, this isn't something that I personally really use a whole lot within the app. Moving along, you also have financial goals. Now, this can be a really nice feature for a home purchase or something. If you're saving up for a down payment, you can link the specific account, and this will just keep track of things on the back burner, seeing like what accounts you link to it, and then setting a specific dollar amount, and you can see the overall percentage of your overall progress towards a goal. So this can be a very nice, very simple feature just to keep track of things. You can even edit the image as well, sort of select what you want, whether it's a home purchase or retirement. Now, retirement can be far, far away for some people, so I do get that that's maybe not even the most useful, but it can be nice just to set it like, hey, 1.5 million, I'll be there eventually, you know. It may take quite a lifetime to get there, but, you know, you can set retirement goals and home purchase goals, or even small goals, like maybe if you just have a home repair or car repair, something like $500 that you want to save for. You can add that in there as well and sort of track the progress. Now, in terms of the custom dashboards and reports, this is one of the really nice things about Monarch. As you can see here with the overall net worth tracking, so you can see overall percentages, whether it be cash, real estate, investments, and your overall loans progress too. So if you have student loans, credit cards, or mortgage debt, it will also track that here in the same way, just in the negative, because again, it's a liability against your assets. And you can see the overall value over time if you're paying things down or if you are improving, like adding money to a retirement account. You can see that progress there. You can also see your overall spending on the day, month to month. Now, this is something that to me isn't super useful, just because things do hit different times, different months, depending on certain bills or expenses you may have. So the actual spending, like on a specific day, it maybe isn't necessarily the most helpful, but it can be nice to kind of see like, oh wow, I've already spent $2,500 this month. Maybe you need to cool it on the Taco Bell or something, right? So you can kind of see like where you're currently at. So I guess that could be useful, but if you have some other bigger bills, that might just completely throw that report off, so maybe not necessarily the most useful. One other nice feature within Monarch is you can also search. Now, this is not just limited to the categories, and also you can set your own custom categories as well, but this can also be utilized for searching for certain merchants within the app. So if you wanted to see how much you spent at Taco Bell, or in this case, Chipotle, you can see, wow, I've spent like $200 at this place. I need to cool it on the Chipotle. You know, you can see exactly how much you spent in certain categories, in certain how much you've allocated towards a certain goal, and really kind of map out the overall spending within certain merchants or categories. This can be really nice, especially for like groceries. Oh, how much have I spent on groceries? You can even see it on a month-to-month basis as well. Of course, account security, again, this is not something really to speak about much. It is just read only. So those of you guys who are maybe skeptical, it is limited to read only, so they do not move your money at all. This is an important feature, I guess worth mentioning, is just that, you know, it's just read only, so you don't have to worry about things being actually moved within your accounts. It's just to track. Again, like I said before, with the way that their pricing structure does work, there are no advertisements, which is a nice feature. It is really nice not having that extra clutter like you may have in some other apps, or like how Mint used to be with credit card offers and personal loans and open this account or that account. It is nice to not have distracting ads. It is a paid tool though. So that is something worth keeping in mind. Again, it is a paid tool. Now, depending on when you're watching this, the pricing may be different, but it is typically that $99 per year. So that is sort of a con. It is a paid tool. It is a slightly more expensive tool, but honestly, it's pretty comparable to a lot of the other alternatives out there, like You Need a Budget, like YNAB, or even Every Dollar. Pretty comparable there. Or the monthly is that $14.99 a month. Now, this pricing is accurate as of the time of making this video. This pricing is always subject to change. If you do want a 30-day extended trial, I'll have a link down below in the video description. Now, in terms of Monarch Money, you know, would I continue to use it? And that is definitely yes over time. I would continue to use it and use it as a paid tool. Their cash flow reports, and especially, you know, that Sankey diagram like I showed before, is super useful to see where your money is going each and every month on a monthly basis, and you can track your overall cash flow, especially if you have a variable income like paychecks or even a side hustle or something like that. It can be a really nice way to see as your income throughout the year, month to month, as it goes, like where's your money actually going, and it does make it pretty easy to see where your overall expenses are and the overall percentage of those expenses. And the nice thing on top of that is you do also get the net worth tracking in the background that you can pretty much just set and forget. And they do have a lot of accounts, a lot more accounts that you can link through Monarch than really most other financial tools out there in terms of the overall accounts you can link from different financial institutions. So that's why, Monarch is still probably my #1 tool for budgeting and selecting. Now, if you want to do things more manually, maybe you want to save money, I get that maybe a spreadsheet still might make more sense for you, or a Google Sheet. I still do like to use Google Sheets as well for just hammering out certain details, but for doing things passively and just tracking things overall on a month-to-month basis, again, making sure that your transactions are still accurate, Monarch Money can still be a really good tool for that. And really each tool, that you utilize kind of has a different sort of use in the toolbox in terms of setting things up. Their budgeting side of things, is a bit more manual, and it maybe isn't the most useful over time, in my opinion, their budgeting platform, but the cash flow tracker as well as transactions and net worth are really the highlights for me. So if you might see those as the highlights, you can always give them a try. They do have that 30-day trial currently. You can get set up with Monarch Money. So that will be linked down below in the video description. Let me know if you've had experience with Monarch Money. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Maybe what tool works best for you when it comes to cash flow, tracking net worth, budgeting, all the kind of personal finance tools. So again, guys, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, then be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, guys, that's all for today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.